very good evening and warm welcome to the Television Collective News. This is Shrishti Khadgi. Let's move on to today's headlines. More than 50,000 people in Nepal have won the corona infection. Monitoring of the subcommittee as people staying outside of Teko Hospital at night increases. Urges hospital administration to prioritize mortuary management. Condition of Kapilvastu prison deplorable. Nationwide strike called in India by over 2 dozen farmers organizations, including those affiliated to RSS. Iran hit by new US sanctions accused of human rights violation. China's COVID-19 vaccine Sinovac likely to be launched in Brazil's Sao Paulo. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un apologizes. Former Australian cricketer Dean Jones dies. Here we go for news in detail. Of those infected with the corona outbreak worldwide, 50,411 have so far been infected in Nepal. In the last 24 hours, another 457 people have been cured, says the spokesperson of the Ministry of Health and Population, Jageshwar Gautam. Out of the total infected people in Nepal, 72.7% have managed to overcome corona. So far, the number of deaths from corona in Nepal has reached 453. So far, corona infection has been confirmed in 69,301 people. Parliamentary subcommittee has expressed interest after reports that the number of people arriving at Sukaraj Tropical and Communicable Diseases Hospital for PCR tests have increased and they have to stay outside the hospital at night. A subcommittee set up under Education and Health Committee of the House of Representatives to monitor the work done by the government on COVID-19 reached the hospital on Thursday and got information about the reason for the increase in the corona test. In the process, subcommittee team got information about the capacity of the hospital and the treatment of corona infected. Subcommittee coordinator Jeevan Ram Shrestha said that the crowd has increased and it is a convenient place to do PCR. Similarly, number of people entering the capital from outside the Kathmandu Valley for work has also increased, said Shrestha. Coordinator Shrestha said that according to the criteria set by the government for the corona test, crowd could be reduced if only the PCR showed symptoms. Coordinator Shrestha informed that the treatment of corona infected was very good at the hospital during the monitoring. Similarly, director of the hospital, Sagar Raj Bhandari, said that the number of people coming for PCR testing has increased and PCR testing capacity has also increased after the ban was lifted in the capital. Director Raj Bhandari also said that there is a shortage of staff in the hospital. Hospital has been collecting more than 500 samples daily for PCR testing September 20. Earlier, it used to collect around 300 samples daily. Teko Hospital is crowded as it will conduct free tests.
र सँगै त्यो एउटा चाहिँ नि पिसिआर गर्ने एउटा ठाउँ पनि हो सरकारको तर्फबाट र अहिले सर्वसाधारण नागरिकहरू जो अहिले चाहिँ नि यो लकडाउन खुलिसकेपछि निषेधाज्ञा खुलिसकेपछि अहिले धेरैभन्दा धेरै मान्छेहरू उपत्यका बाहिरबाट यहाँ प्रवेश गरिरहेको छ। विभिन्न कामको सिलसिलामा यहाँ चाहिँ नि काठमाडौँमा प्रवेश गर्ने काम भइरहेको छ, जसले गर्दा उहाँहरू बस्ने ठाउँमा घरधनीले टोलमा पिसिआर रिपोर्ट नभइकन बस्न दिन्न भन्ने खालको कारणले अहिले त्यहाँ निकै भिड बढेको छ र अब यतिसम्म भिड छ कि मान्छेहरूले आफ्नो टेस्ट चाँडै गरेर काममा जान पाउने स्थिति बन्छ अथवा कोठामा बस्न पाइन्छ भनेर त्यहाँ पालो कुर्न राति आएर सुत्नेसम्मको स्थिति बनेको छ। एकदमै एउटा चाहिँ नि हेर्दाखेरि एकदम एउटा भयावह खालको अवस्था चाहिँ नि देखिन्छ। यो भएर हामीले त्यस विषयमा पनि त्यहाँ चासो राख्यौं, यो किन यस्तो भइरहेछ, के कारणले यस्तो चाहिँ नि मान्छेहरू राति बसेर चाहिँ नि सुतेरै त्यहाँ चाहिँ नि लाइन बसेका छन् भन्ने कुराहरू गर्दा अहिले यो खुला भइसकेपछि निकै चाप बढेको र उहाँहरूको क्षमताभन्दा बाहिर चाहिँ नि त्यहाँ मान्छेहरू आउने गरेको कारणले त्यो स्थिति आएको हो भन्ने कुरा उहाँहरूले जानकारी गराउनुभयो। र अब हामीले यस विषयमा चाहिँ नि एउटा उहाँहरूले चाहिँ नि जुन कोभिडको केसमा उपचार गरिराख्नु भएको छ संक्रमितहरूलाई त्यो चाहिँ नि निकै राम्रो छ, उत्कृष्ट छ। अब सँगै चाहिँ नि यो जुन पिसिआर टेस्टको लागि प्रेसर त्यहाँ छ र भिड लागेको स्थिति छ र त्यही ठाउँ नै एउटा संक्रमणको चाहिँ नि स्थिति बन्न सक्ने अवस्था चाहिँ नि रहेको छ। त्यसैले यसलाई तत्काल चाहिँ नि व्यवस्थापन गर्नको लागि हामीले चाहिँ नि छलफल गरेका छौं र यो अब यस विषयमा ती व्यक्तिहरू पिसिआर टेस्ट गर्नुपर्ने व्यक्तिहरू हुन् कि होइन त्यो कुरालाई पनि निर्गोल गर्नु पर्यो। पिसिआर चाहिँ नि यो भनेको उपचार होइन, यो भनेको खाली संक्रमितसँग चाहिँ नि अब संसर्गमा आयो अथवा चाहिँ कुनै लक्षणहरू देखा पर्यो भने पिसिआर गरेर हो होइन भनेर छुटाउने कुराहरू हो। त्यसो भने यो कुरालाई चाहिँ निर्गोल पनि गर्नु पर्यो र सँगसँगै अब यो खुला अवस्थामा अब जुन आउने जाने क्रमहरू चाहिँ नि धेरै रहन्छ। त्यसैले सङ्घीय सरकारले स्वास्थ्य मन्त्रालयले अब यसको चाहिँ नि जुन मेकानिजमहरू छ त्यसले तीन तहको सरकारको बिचमा समन्वय गरेर के कुराहरूलाई चाहिँ नि गर्ने के कुराहरू नगर्ने भन्ने कुरामा एउटा राम्रोसँग छलफल गरेर त्यसलाई चाहिँ नि लैजानुपर्ने आवश्यकता चाहिँ नि देखेको छु। त्यसो भयो भने यो खालको चाहिँ नि भिडको अवस्था चाहिँ नि व्यवस्थापन पनि हुन्छ।
Lawmakers have alleged that there was a weakness in the curse management in the case of death of a prisoner at Bir Hospital. At a meeting of Education and Health Committee under the House of Representatives held at Singadabar on Thursday, lawmakers have also urged hospital administration to give priority to mortuary management. They also said that such incidents have sent a negative message to the people. Lawmakers also urged to pay attention to the management of the mortuary. MP Khagraj Adhikari suggested that mortuary management should be given priority. Similarly, MP Andana Bishanke said that hospitals should be ready in all areas at present. MP Bishanke said that the mistake of the health sector is not acceptable, saying that the negative rather than the positive issue will be spared. During the discussion, Professor Dr. D.N. Shah, Vice Chancellor of Veer Hospital, National Academy of Medical Sciences, said that the body would be sent to the teaching hospital if it had to be kept in front of Corona for a few days. Vice Chancellor Shah informed that the prisoner died while being brought to Veer Hospital. Meanwhile, Parliamentary Subcommittee formed to monitor the work done by the government for the control and prevention of COVID-19 has submitted a study report. According to Jivan Ram Shrestha, subcommittee coordinator, the report mentions that patients with diseases other than COVID have not been able to get easy treatment. Infection has increased after opening the lockdown and lack of preparation for corona reduction. Subcommittee had prepared the report after on-site monitoring of various corona treatment hospitals, isolation centers, laboratories and prisons.
अब त यो त तिलको दानो पनि हेर्नेवाला छन्। अब यो जुन ढङ्गले नेगेटिभ भुइँहरू पैदा भएको छ नि त्यसले चाहिँ अब यति सानो चिज पनि कोटिनेवाला छ कि त्यो राम्रो भयो भने ठुलो चिज पनि लुक्दो रहेछ। हेर्नु कसैले एकदम राम्रो हिरो छ त्यो भनेर मिडियामा गयो भने त्यसले ठुलै काम गरे पनि गलत गरे पनि लुक्छ। तर अब एक खालको बदनाम भएपछि चाहिँ नि के हुन्छ भने त्यो एकदम धेरै खोतलिन्छ र राम्रो कुरा पनि छोपिन्छ। त्यसैले यो सिचुएसन आउनै दिनु हुन्थेन। अब आइसकेपछि चाहिँ कसरी हल गर्ने भनेर सिङ्गो पदाधिकारीहरूले हामीलाई पनि भन्नु पर्यो यथार्थ सुझाव र हामीले पनि के गर्न सक्छौँ हामी त्यो ढङ्गले जानुपर्छ। तर संस्था चाहिँ चल्या छैन। म हिरो बन्छु भनेर दिनरात कोसिस गरे भने बन्न सक्छु।
The inmates have been forced to live in the old dilapidated building even though the new building of Kapilvastu district headquarters, Tauli Hawa, has come to an operation. The old building is overcrowded as the new building is overcrowded too. Block number 1 of the old dilapidated building is in a dilapidated condition. There is also possibility of breaking due to strong winds and rain, but the inmates and security personnel are forced to live in fear in the same building. The physical structure is very old and the building is dilapidated due to lack of proper maintenance. Jailer Rakesh Pandey said that 82-year-old prisoner's house in block number 1, built in 1995 BS, was getting dilapidated due to lack of maintenance. The condition of the outer security wall of the prison is similar. The quick damage a security wall on house in block number 1. So far, the prison administration has not been able to repair the building due to lack of funds. Government has not been able to allocate adequate budget due to lack of physical infrastructure and dilapidated condition in most of the prisons across the country.
यो कारागारमा तपाईको अब राम्रा पक्ष हुँदा हुँदै तपाईको केही समस्याहरू पनि छन् र ती समस्याहरुमा प्रमुख समस्या भनेको तपाईको अब खानेपानीको समस्या छ। एउटा यो खानेपानीको जुन फ्लो अथवा एमाउन्ट हुनुपर्ने हो त्यो एमाउन्ट पर्याप्त मात्रामा छैन र त्यसले गर्दाखेरि तपाईको गर्मीयाममा चाहिँ पानीको लेभल तल जाने र कैदीबन्दीहरूलाई पर्याप्त मात्रामा चाहिँ त्यो पानी नहुने समस्या छ। र यसका अलावा चाहिँ अर्को समस्या भनेको त्यो शौचालयको अभाव पनि हो। शौचालयको संख्या जति पर्याप्त मात्रामा हुनुपर्थ्यो कैदीबन्दीलाई त्यति छैन, जसले गर्दाखेरि अब कैदीबन्दीहरू केही समय तपाईको लाइन लागेर बिहान लाइन लाग्नुपर्ने अवस्था छ।
Over 2 dozen farmers' organizations from all across the country, supported by 18 political parties, including the Congress, are taking to the streets on Friday, protesting the farm bills passed by the parliament. Punjab and Haryana will be the epicenter of the protests, though the demand for the legal guarantee of minimum support prices has garnered support from all the farmers' organizations, including those affiliated to the RSS. Normal life is likely to be disrupted as road movement will be hit. All India Farmers Union, Bharatiya Kisan Union, All India Kisan Mahasangh and All India Kisan Sangharsh Coordination Committee announced a nationwide closure. Farmers' buddies from Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra have also called for a shutdown. Congress on Thursday extended support to call off the Bharat closure. A total of 18 parties, including AAP Congress, the left parties NCP, DMK, SP, Trinamool Congress, RJD, urged the president to not sign the bills. Punjab Chief Minister Amarinder Singh has urged the farmers to maintain law and order and to adhere to COVID-19 safety protocols. No FIR will be registered for the violation of Section 144 during the protests, the CM has said. The United States on Thursday blacklisted several Iranian officials and entities over alleged human rights violation, including slapping sanctions on a judge it said was involved in the case of an Iranian wrestler sentenced to death. This comes 3 days after the U.S. threatened to reinstate all international sanctions against Iran single-handedly if other UN member countries failed to do so. The unilateral declaration has been rejected by Iran and other members of the international community, including Washington's close allies. A number of European embassies and envoys to Iran, including the German ambassador, also expressed their concerns of human rights violation of Iran, which triggered a strong reaction from Iran's Deputy Judiciary Chief for International and Human Rights Affairs, Ali Bagheri, who protested against interferences by the European embassies in Iran's internal affairs. The governor of Brazil's Sao Paulo state, João Doria, said on Wednesday the state is likely to start to immunize its population with China's Sinovac vaccine for COVID-19 in mid-December, pending regulatory approval. Brazil has the third highest number of cases of coronavirus in the world, leading vaccine makers to seek out South America's largest country to test their candidates. Sao Paulo is one of the sites of Phase 3 clinical trials for the Sinovac vaccine conducted by the state's Butantan Institute, a leading biomedical research center. Doria told a news conference 5 million doses of the vaccine are expected to arrive in Sao Paulo, the country's most populous state, in October. The state has a deal with Sinovac for 60 million doses to be delivered by the end of February, which Doria said is enough to vaccinate the state's entire population. Sinovac's Latin America head, Xing Han, said the results of the Phase 3 trials should be out in 2 months. Brazil's state governments have been aggressive in counting vaccine makers, with Bahia and Paraná states striking deals to test and buyer-produce the Russian Sputnik V vaccine. Pfizer Inclusive and partner BioNTech received president regulatory approval last week to expand trials of their vaccine in Sao Paulo and Bahia states. The vaccine, developed by AstraZeneca and University of Oxford, has a production and distribution deal with the Federal Biomedical Research Institute, Fiocruz, and it is also being tested in Brazil by the Federal University of Sao Paulo. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has apologized for the death of a South Korean official in his country. Kim Jong-un has apologized for the incident, according to the South Korean presidential office. The South Korean official was shot dead as he fled North Korea. North Korean security forces said 10 bullets were shot on him during the attack. The incident is being further investigated. Former Australian cricketer Dean Jones has died of a heart attack at the age of 59 on Thursday at a hotel in Mumbai, India. He went to India as a member of the commentary team of the Indian Premier League. He was an amazing assistant in improving cricket in South Asia. Indigo Star India has announced his death. Jones played 52 tests for Australia between 1984 and 1994 and played 164 ODIs. This is all for now. We'll be back with more news and updates. Till then, keep watching them on television. May all the sentient beings be at peace. Stay safe.